You know, Emma, I was reading this really thought-provoking article about change and personal growth. It was from Moya Sarner. Have you heard of her?
I think I've come across her work before. What's the article about?
It's about how we often want change in our lives, but don't really want to change ourselves. Sarner uses the example of a parent struggling with a baby who won't sleep to illustrate this. It made me think a lot about our own reluctance to face our shortcomings.
Oh, I see. So it's not just about wanting things around us to be different, but also about us being willing to change internally. That sounds intense.
Exactly. She talks about this idea that many people come to therapy wanting their circumstances to change, but aren't ready to confront their own role in those circumstances. It's like they want the baby to sleep, but they don't want to face their own frustrations and fears.
That makes sense. Change can be really scary. It's easier to blame others or external situations rather than looking at ourselves. Sarner even mentions this dream she had about crossing a motorway. It's a metaphor for how we get stuck in our own fears about change.
Yes, the central reservation of the motorway where she's stuck represents her ambivalence about change. It's both a place of danger and safety. She can't move forward because of the fear of the unknown.
Wow, that's a powerful image. So, in the end, it's about taking responsibility for our own lives, right? Understanding how we contribute to our own problems.
Right? It's not about ignoring the larger societal issues like racism or poverty. But Sarner argues that recognizing our personal role and how we might be holding ourselves back is crucial. It's about realizing that some of those issues start with us in the way we think and act.
And by acknowledging our own biases and habits, we can start making real changes. It's not just about changing our routines, but understanding our deeper patterns and beliefs.
Exactly. It's about seeing our role in the bigger picture and making choices that reflect that awareness. Like, instead of just wanting a better relationship or job, we need to look at how we contribute to those situations and what changes we can make ourselves.
That's a lot to take in, but it's also liberating. By understanding our own role, we can begin to choose how we live and grow from our experiences, rather than just reacting to them.
Yes, and even in challenging situations like the sleepless nights with a baby, we can find ways to learn and grow if we approach them with this mindset.
It's kind of like a personal revolution. Changing ourselves might be difficult, but it's essential for creating a better world. Can you explain what agency means in this context?
Sure, agency refers to our ability to make choices and take action in our own lives. It's about recognizing that we have control over our own decisions and actions, even when we can't control everything around us.
Thank you. That helps a lot. I'm trying to understand these concepts better.
We're glad to help. It's a journey, but being open to these ideas can make a big difference in how we live our lives. But you guys be thinking that, how do we start making these changes in our own lives? It begins with self-reflection. Start by looking at your habits and patterns. Ask yourself how you might be contributing to your own problems or staying stuck. From there, set small, manageable goals for change and be patient with yourself.
That sounds doable. Thanks for the advice. And remember, change doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, and being kind to yourself along the way is important. You know, Alex, something that really stands out to me is how Sarner talks about the fear of change. It's like our minds have this built-in resistance to moving forward, even when we know it's for the better.
Absolutely. It's almost as if we're wired to cling to the familiar, even if it's not serving us well. That central reservation metaphor really hits home. Our minds create these safe zones where we avoid facing the discomfort of change.
It's true. And it's so easy to get stuck in those comfort zones. I was thinking about how we often see this in relationships. People stay in unhealthy relationships because they fear the uncertainty of being alone or starting over.
Exactly. The fear of the unknown can be paralyzing. And it's not just in relationships, it can apply to our jobs, our habits, even our personal goals. It's the fear of stepping into a new phase that keeps us from evolving.
It makes me wonder about how we can begin to address that fear. How can we make the idea of change less daunting?
I think it starts with acknowledging and accepting that fear is a natural part of the process. Instead of fighting it, we need to gently confront it. One way is to break down the changes into smaller, more manageable steps. This makes the process feel less overwhelming.
I like that idea. It's about taking incremental steps rather than trying to make huge leaps all at once. I've found that even small changes like altering a daily routine can build confidence over time.
Yes, and celebrating those small victories can be really motivating. Each step forward, no matter how minor, is progress. It helps build resilience and can make the larger changes feel more achievable.
And it's also about being kind to ourselves during the process. It's easy to get discouraged if things don't go perfectly, but self-compassion is key. We have to remember that change is a journey, not a destination.
Absolutely. Embracing self-compassion helps us stay committed to our goals. It's important to recognize that setbacks are a part of the learning process, not failures.
This conversation makes me think about how important it is to cultivate a mindset that welcomes growth. Instead of seeing change as a threat, we can view it as an opportunity for development.
That's a great perspective. Viewing change as a chance for growth can shift our approach from one of fear to one of curiosity and excitement. It can transform how we experience change in our lives.
And I think this perspective can also impact how we relate to others. If we're open to change and growth ourselves, we're more likely to support and encourage the same in others.
Definitely. When we model a growth mindset, we inspire those around us to embrace change as well. It creates a ripple effect that can positively influence our relationships and communities.
It's amazing how interconnected everything is. Personal growth can lead to broader societal changes. It's like each of us is a piece of a larger puzzle. And when we work on ourselves, we contribute to a better world.
That's a beautiful way to look at it. Every bit of personal progress can contribute to a collective improvement. It's a reminder that even our individual efforts have a larger impact.
I'm really glad we had this discussion, Alex. It's given me a lot to think about and has made the idea of change seem more manageable and even exciting.
I feel the same way, Emma. Conversations like these are so valuable. They help us gain new perspectives and motivate us to take action.
And it's wonderful to see how our reflections can also resonate with others. It's like we're all in this journey together, supporting each other through the challenges of change.
Exactly. And as the sun sets on this beautiful day, I feel hopeful about the steps we can take, both personally and collectively.
Me too. Here's to embracing change and supporting each other along the way.
Cheers to that. And hey guys, thanks for listening till here. We hope you liked the conversation. Try to implement whatever you learned, and let's keep it up till here and meet you in the next video. Take care.